Fellas, we are sitting down again, the Practical Podcast. Glad to have all you guys here.
Yes, sir.
Denzel's not with us today, but we do have my good friend, Stacey, sitting with us. If you guys
Stacey.
he is indeed the man.
What's up,
more
bro?
things that you guys know about who he is. A little more character depth will be established during this podcast. But first, though, big shout out to Sovereign Brand.
Shout out.
Sipping things. I have this Bel Air. Awesome, good stuff here. You guys are drinking.
I got some rum.
Bamboo's definitely doing the thing for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. We enjoy ourselves because we have balance. This whole podcast, a big part of that is balance. Showing how you can somehow, or how you can, enjoy a social part of your world, which is being a mom, dad, father, friend, but still control and own your health. There's a way of doing that. And balance is the way we do that. So let's dig into some questions on how these guys
Right.
do just
First of all, can I say something to my man Stacey?
What's up, bro?
I have a love-hate relationship with it. I see your content.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn, I wish I could do that shit. Kudos to you, my brother, for all of the hard work you've done. Thank you for joining the cast. We appreciate you.
Great way to open things up, guys. In fact, let's get right into that part that Myron so zealously opened into.
Yes, sir.
Actually. So everyone can have a backdrop as to how you got to where you are.
Yeah.
I want them to know that they should not compare themselves now to where you are now.
Yeah.
You have a history.
Yeah.
I don't want the brief version. I want the real, if you got extended version of how you got to where you are and your elite fitness presence. Beyond just the physical, but your actual heroics.
That's crazy, bro.
Power Ranger style.
How do you do
Without a
that?
doubt. Yes, sir.
God, secondarily.
God bless. God bless.
I'm a gymnast by background. I did gymnastics since I was 6 years old. So
Dope.
you can imagine that would come with quite a bit of kinesthetic experience, right? And I say it in that way because it's not just like typical movement. It's not just lifting weights. It's not just calisthenics. It's not just me doing home workouts. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a discipline. And so when I did gymnastics from the age of 6 to the age of 22. So in that span of time, being really invested in it and, riding the wave of being an elite level athlete within a sport, you pick up certain disciplines, mental characteristics, kinesthetic awarenesses. Is that a word?
Yeah.
Kinesthetic skills.
I get it. That makes sense.
Different kinesthetic skills that you wouldn't otherwise pick up on, right? Like no one's, out in the streets like, hey, work out your handstand.
Right.
So 6 years old till 22. You glossed over a lot.
Yeah.
Let's rewind back until it gets extremely elite. All right. So I could do a front flip when I but there's a point in time where you could do a front flip and 10 more beyond that.
Right.
You were, after high school, gymnast. What came from there? Michigan is your alma mater, correct?
Yeah.
Tell us about this part here.
Dope.
Oh,
Wolverines.
Fun part.
Go blue.
So, obviously, go blue.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Beat Ohio State. All right, cool.
Yes, sir. The big house.
Yeah. Being at Michigan was a very transformative experience because obviously the academics are great there, and the team that we built during my career at Michigan was like superb. Probably, historically and statistically, the best team we've ever had, the best program we've had. Won back-to-back Big Ten Conference championships in 2013 and 14, as well as two back-to-back NCAA championships in 2013 and 14. Wow. So our teams, we were just
killing
them. You know what I'm saying? Our team was full of him.
Yeah. Right.
We were we had a great experience, and that stems from. It's not like we got in and we were like, yeah, we're rolling these teams. That for my freshman year, so we won my sophomore and junior year. My freshman year, we won the first night of NCAAs. We were the first team qualifying into finals. And we pretty much blew our load. You know what I'm saying? We're the team. We're the guys. We are them. So we did it. We still have a whole nother competition to compete. Yeah. So the second day, we're inexperienced at that time. Our team was heavy freshmen and sophomore. And so when we come in second day, our nerves got the best of us.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure we placed, if not last in there, like the 5th of the 6 teams. So it's not great.
Right.
But on that bus ride back to the hotel, all of us are in our minds like, this will never happen again. That was the most silent, meditative, calm, passionate, angry bus ride I've ever been a part of. Coaches weren't saying anything.
Yeah.
Athletes weren't saying anything. Training staff's not saying anything. We're just in our minds like, that loss, that's not us. We're winners. We're champions. And we attacked literally every day forward from that moment with that mindset. And that's why we won those back-to-back. It was
Wow.
It was
Sometimes
something
you need that.
transcendental.
Yeah, that's incredible.
You need to go through that.
You said you guys are both at a collegiate level playing these sports. So two things could have happened at that point in time here. You chose the latter, which was the feeling of defeat didn't feel good. You refused to feel that again. What was the other option you could have felt that many athletes might perhaps feel?
Oh, dang, this is us. This is
We're
this
losers.
is, we earned this. For this loss, we didn't feel that way.
No.
We felt like we worked to win. And so collectively and individually, we all felt that way, which is important because you're going to have people on your team who take defeat and they're like, I didn't work to lose. I worked to win. And then you're going to have other people on the team who are like, yeah, no, that's exactly how the cards fell, as they should. Can't have that mindset. It's got to be, what did I learn? What did I gain from this experience of losing? What did I gain from the setback?
Yeah,
right.
And like, that's the difference between, championship mindset and non-championship mindset. Is that right there? How do you handle adversity?
Absolutely.
The value of team was definitely introduced to me as an adult, again, by way of George. George, a question we answered a while back, I asked about who was with you still going forward, and he reiterated that his team was still there. So these guys had a collective bond, the value of team going forward in life. The question I'm working towards is this. Post-athletic greatness, George had to figure out what he was going to do to get that same feeling, that same high. He was winning and scoring touchdowns left and right. It was great. He found a way by way of fitness. Did you immediately find fitness post collegiate gymnastics as a way of getting that same, as you mentioned earlier, dopamine high, that feeling of success? What did you do post gymnastics to get that same feeling back?
I would say just as a staple of the character that I developed through my time as an athlete was physical movement. So I did find fitness to be that place of development, solace, if you could call the discomfort comfort, finding that comfort within that space is just knowing that, all right, well, even though I'm not necessarily a competitive gymnast anymore, as long as I continue to channel some energy in disciplining my physicality, I will probably continue to channel energy into my mental, spiritual, development as well. And so I think that fitness was a pretty natural segue
into what you're doing. So if you had anything to say to the younger you, if you would say something, and you might say nothing because you want to continue forth as he is. If you could say something to that younger you, or perhaps that younger influencer at this point, what would that actually be? And I want you guys to answer the same question.
Yes, sir.
I want you guys to answer the same question. What you would say.
There's so much that could be said to the younger me.
So let's narrow the scope in. The trajectory of your career. What would you say on behalf of the trajectory of your career as a young athlete? What would you say to that one to help the trajectory of his career? Or would you leave him alone and say, hey, this is proper and it should go this way? Same question coming to you guys both. I got to hear it from both of you.
Well, who am I to interfere with God's plan? But let me go ahead and express what I would say if I was younger.
Right.
And that, I think primarily it would be to find, you can do anything you want, but you can't do everything you want. Not at once. Not at once. So like, choose what to excel in this season. Literally, it's goal setting. It's what we've all been taught and told and, share about all the time, what you should do. What is your current season's objectives and goals? Attack that. Because as soon as you start thinking that you could do this and do that and do this and do that, you're going to be so overwhelmed with things that you can't control that you're not even aware of what you can control.
I like that.
And
I like
so
that.
choosing something to excel in, and then as you're doing that, other opportunities will magnetize to you because you are already doing something. Like, you don't really, what is it? Rolling stone gathers no moss.
Exactly.
And so as you're going through, other opportunities will start to be attracted to you, but you can't be doing everything expecting every single thing to flourish all at once.
MJ, I gotta hear that same thing from you, bro. What would you say for the career trajectory to the younger you? Advice you would give, or not?
Yeah, such a great question. Obviously, we all know the butterfly effect. You change one thing and you could change the trajectory of your life, but we're going to put that to the side for this moment.
For the sake of Ron's question.
Right, for the sake of Ron's question. Honestly, probably two things. Enjoy your youth, meaning have fun, travel the world, date, work on your physique, just enjoy life to your fullest in your youth. And I would probably say join the military. There was a period of time where I felt like I was kind of lost, where I was just trying to figure out my way. Obviously, my daughter gave me structure and discipline because I had her at such a unique age. We're at the point now at 42, I'm a grandfather. But I would really say either join the military or really focus on yourself. Building yourself. And I know I got attacked by this from the last podcast and the last post where I said young men in their youth children are a blessing. We all love children. But as a young man, I think it's important to get yourself together mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally and financially before you take on the responsibilities of building a family. That was, for some odd reason, unreasonable statement. Right? I think that's pretty reasonable, and anybody on this panel would agree. But a part of the world disagrees with me. But okay, weird. But I generally would really take the opportunity to focus on myself and stop putting other things and other people in front of me when I was trying to develop on myself. So I would really probably say join the military and have fun and enjoy your youth.
I like it. I like that. George, please tell me, man, what would you definitely tell the younger you on behalf of his career trajectory, if you would tell the younger you anything?
Yeah, I probably, to piggyback of what MJ said, just enjoy the process, man, and just allow things to happen as they naturally will. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just get so caught up in looking ahead, you know what I'm saying, and we just stress out about what's to come. Just enjoy the stage that you're in and learn and continue to grow and do everything in your power to be the best version of yourself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And everything will just fall in line.
I'm glad that you said, or you ended with that, because it's also very important for young men or younger selves to still take life. I'm saying don't just kind of be frolicking around and just going through life, because as quick as 21 arrived, right around the corner before you wake up, you're 28.
Bro.
You wake up, you're 35, and you're like, what the heck have I been doing for the last 15 years? So I would encourage any young person to really, especially now, because the lack of, I would say, seriousness that young men, because we are all men, I really can't comment on women because I'm not a woman, obviously, but young men, I would encourage you to take life serious, and mainly because of who you're competing against. Who you're competing against is still playing video games. They don't go outside. They don't work out. They don't take their finances serious. They don't take their spirituality serious. And it seems like a lot of these younger generations have gravitated toward this whole depression culture. It's very odd. I see so much content that is surrounded around suicide and your emotions. And listen, I'm very big proponent on mental health. It's extremely important. But I've never seen so many 18-year-olds lean into depression so much. It's like, what do you have to be depressed about? You have your whole life ahead of you. And I'm not judging that at all, but I would take that opportunity to really enjoy life and take an opportunity to see what it has for you.
Absolutely.
Piggyback off that real quick. I think a challenge is introduced to people early on in life that may not come off as a challenge because it's more spiritual, mental than it is like physical. And that is the challenge of drifting versus intention, right? Like when you're drifting, yes, enjoy yourself, right? But as you're enjoying your life, your experiences, and you're going from one thing to the next, what is the central intention behind those experiences and behind what it is that you're creating? And that can help you anchor yourself in a feeling of more stability, right? Like people want that security in themselves, that confidence. But it comes from a central intention. What direction are you moving in? If you're just being blown to any direction and opportunity at the whim of what seems to be the world, of course you're going to feel like pretty victimized, because you're going to be like, oh, things keep
all over
happening.
the place.
Right. I appreciate
Whereas
that.
it's like, this is what I'm doing, and I'm just making my way there.
Right.
Having some central point of intention is super key.
I love that. So you guys have just heard from an elite level athlete himself. Not to summarize such great poignant points you made, but to make sure you guys caught this, it sounds like goal setting and moving with intention is how you get to your destination.
Yeah.
As I said a second ago, the ever-changing winds that happen out here can catch your sails and cast you way off into the water, never reaching your intended goal, that point, that destination you set, if you even set one. I love that. You guys, not to get too heavy on them, but I got to ask you guys one question.
Yeah.
I know I have a wife of 15 years, so understand this is a very
Congratulations.
heterosexual based question here. You guys are some attractive guys, and obviously here this can't be hid that you guys have great physiques.
Yeah.
Where does the line come in between fitness influencer and thirst trapping? And I'm going to start with Mr. Avenger himself. I seen her running 20 miles per hour on a treadmill with his shirt off.
Yes, sir. What's
I
up?
wasn't attracted to him, but I was definitely impressed.
Very impressed.
So this though, there
Pause.
were ladies around me who were definitely attracted to him.
Right.
Shout out to all the ladies for that.
I was surprised, not my wife, Jesus. My own cousins were following him already. My wife could be following him now because we're friends. That's why she follows him. Because we're friends.
Yeah.
There's plenty of family who's following you. And I think it might have been because of the ladies, because of that physique in motion. Bro, tell me, is there a difference between, I think there is, but what is the difference between fitness influencer and thirst trap? Or do they work together symbiotically?
So I'm gonna try to answer this question by saying,
For real. You thirst trapping
Keep it a
or
buck.
fitness
Just
influencer?
keep it a buck.
You thirst trapping or fitness influencer?
So there's a time and place for the thirst trapping, right? So obviously, so we're influencers. So if I need a thirst trap to get your attention to then provide value as an influencer, then you have to do what you have to do, right?
Because you have.
Sex sales. I hate to use that term, but if that's the only way I'm gonna grab your attention to really give you the value that I want to give you,
right,
then that's the approach that I'm gonna take. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's just how you have to move.
Right.
40 miles per hour with your abs showing.
Yeah.
Definitely got your attention.
Right. That got your attention, and then I'm gonna provide the value on the back end.
Absolutely. MJ, my friend, I have not seen you train with the shirt on yet. Video.
Damn, bud. It's like that, my dog. Oh, man.
There's a lot of value.
Absolutely.
Obviously, a lot of value comes from your content.
Yeah.
So
I blame
you
Coke
definitely
for that.
You're definitely receiving attention. And then you obviously follow up with value.
Yeah.
But if you could
Without a
draw a
doubt.
line between fitness influencing and thirst trapping,
Yeah.
where would that line be? Or do they kind of go one in the same?
I think that's a very, very thin line. I have a lot of experience on both sides. Obviously, you guys, I'm not ashamed to admit it. My first content was heavily thirst trapping because I had no idea how this social media worked.
Right.
But I quickly realized that for a man that's trying to obviously run a business, and the majority of my customers now are men, that's maybe not the way to go unless you're doing OnlyFans. It can be problematic from a revenue perspective because if I'm doing a lot of thirst trapping, and what I realized very early on in this short-lived social media career, if you do a lot of content versus for women, as men, you lose a lack of respect in a sense where it's like women will talk to you crazy in the sense of, excuse my language, shut the fuck up. We don't want to hear from you. Take your shirt off.
Take your shirt off. I've literally gotten comments like that.
Right.
Just take your shirt off.
Where now my content is with my shirt off is more motivation, where it's more value, where you can literally see my pecs moving, where you can see the range of motion and where you need to be. So it's not necessarily now, and I'm going to delete this by this podcast. By the time this podcast is aired, I'm going to delete it. So you better hurry up. If you look at a lot of my early content, it was silhouette challenges. I was thirst trapping like no one's business. That video gave me 10 million views. I appreciate you, but But to capsulate it, it gave me the wrong attention, meaning I was getting a lot of women when I really was comfortable in conversing with men and showing them how to work out and how to achieve the physique that they desire to look for. So it is a very thin line. So if I was another fitness influencer, be careful how you tread. And usually they'll find their way, they'll realize they'll wake up and their account isn't banging like you thought it would be, where it's like, maybe I should change the way I perceive myself on it. Just a gym for you guys. Appreciate it.
Now, Stacey, my outside take on you, when I first met you, you were flipping multiple backflips, front flips. So definitely I was impressed with your physical feats. But again, I have other cousins of female sort that were following you, and I don't think they're watching your backflips so much. Your gymnastics suit definitely showed your biceps, your chest.
And the hair. Ron, don't forget about the hair. Is that intentional?
So here's your hair.
Like, you know what I'm saying, dog? I ain't like, can I get some?
Stacey lands after 10 backflips. He has to move his hair out the way.
Like,
And that is a Fabio move.
I'm jealous.
Girls love seeing it. Stacey, tell me, bro. Your platform was definitely built off of your physical heroics. But is there a line between, and do we actually use this to our benefit, thirst trapping and fitness influencing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a totally valid question, because a lot of the fitness content you see looks more like a thirst trap. However, there's two parties to this content creation thing, right? And more. But like, there's two primary: who created it and who's receiving it.
Okay.
Did you create it with the intention of thirst trapping? Did you? That's a question you have to ask yourself.
The camera angle tells that, I think.
Yeah, you have to ask it first and foremost for yourself, and then the person who's receiving it also has to say, "Am I watching this because I'm just attracted to it? Or am I watching it because I'm trying to gain some sort of value?"
Is it cringy? It's like, this ain't this. Having the awareness as a person who receives the content.
Right.
Yeah, this ain't for me.
Yeah.
I'll check out the next post.
Yeah. And so you have to check yourself as far as your own intentions, but whether you're the one who's producing the content or whether you're the one who is, digesting the content.
Yeah. Right.
So it's like, there's a fine line. And he said the camera angle.
The camera angle tells
I
that.
can't get over that, because that's real. But also you could just tell, from the general mood, right? It's still media. It's still media. We talk about joking with me flipping my hair. I do that shit intentionally.
Yeah.
Okay. It's an exaggerated hair
I
flip.
do it intentionally.
Okay.
Because, the viewer, if they've watched me do flips several times, there's a payoff. What's the payoff? Subconsciously, bet he's going to flip his hair at the end of this video. Boom. I got to stick around to the end.
I got to see you flip it.
It's just like camera blocking or anything else, like a principle of like media staging. It's still stage things. It's not like I'm just in the gym like, all right, I'm going to do like 30,000 backflips right now. I really want to do this. Usually I'm in the gym, I'll get my workout done, and then I'm done if I'm just going to work out. But if I'm going to go film content, it's going to be different. It's going to be a different content, right?
That's a great question.
I'll definitely say this though, you guys. Ultimately here, if you are following any one of these great gentlemen, value is being given. So whatever brought you into that platform or made you hit that follow button, you're going to get value. You're going to get value. And whatever brought you in, you're going to get value. So no matter what thirst trap, whatever you want to call it, you're going to walk away learning
with something.
You're going to walk away with added value to who you are. I'm glad, and that's why I have you guys here talking. I'm glad to have you here with us, Stacey. You guys, super happy again. Let's give a toast. Shout out
Appreciate
to
it,
Ross,
man.
the Sovereign Brand, Lil Wayne.
Shout out to Sovereign.
All the guys.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All love.
I'm lit.
Definitely tips.
Big Ron Jones and his homeboys. Practical advice for your real world goals.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Ladies, we do appreciate the thirst trap.